I was talking with my producer about this, but they're your ride or die, and they are so much
Literally,
why we
you
love...
ride them or you die.
Exactly. Wow. Just watched the first episode.
What do you think?
I haven't even digested it yet because it's just so... I'm speechless because there's so many elements to it, like shock, and then you're just intrigued, but you're also like, wait, what's happening? I had to get a glass of water after that scene.
Stiff drink.
Oh, exactly.
Stiff drink of water.
Yeah, pour a little tequila in there as well.
Yeah.
This story, I don't know if fans are ready for, in the sense, I don't know if they might have their ideas, because I, as a fan of Game of Thrones, I had a certain idea of what House of the Dragons would be. And then it totally shifted. It's its own standalone element.
Yeah, it doesn't mess around. I mean, it gets. I think it sets it up really, really well. The first episode. There's a lot of ground to cover, and I think it does it really well. But yeah, we've been talking about it now for days, and we're saying, it's very much within the realm of the original series, but because it's its own thing too.
Yeah.
It's the House of the Dragon. It's its own beast. And I'm glad you got that kind of reaction to it.
Well, for starters, holy shit, I just saw the first episode last night. It stays with you is an understatement. It is so intense and just wild. I had no idea what I was in for. Whoa.
Yeah.
So this is the first spin-off of the Game of Thrones series that we're seeing. What is it about this family and their story that audiences are going to be hooked on?
I think ultimately it's a story about family and about bloodline and about succession, and I think that what makes what made Game of Thrones so relatable for everyone is that it's all of us can understand that dynamic in some way, shape, or form, and I think that House of the Dragon kind of carries on that thing.
Journey.
The journey.
On that journey.
The journey.
I don't know. Do you, Matt?
No, I don't know. I've got a sort of simple answer to that. I mean, it's like, as we sort of described it, it's sort of like they're like any other family in many ways. In many ways, they're not.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when it feels localised and normal and domestic is when it's at its best. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. It's a family at the core.
Yeah, it's a family drama. You can have all the, the dragons and all the things that people love about the show, but if that stuff isn't at the core of it isn't believable, then I don't feel that there's much point. And I think there are a lot of things around at the moment that don't have that emotional gravitas to them.
Yeah.
And some shows, when you're dealing with a fantasy world, you get something like Stranger Things that's a fantasy, and it's very, very emotional. The last series was
great.
Absolutely fantastic.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Did you? I thought it was so good.
And I think you need that. I think people need to connect to characters. I think it's so important in any drama.
Right.
And I think this manages to do it. That's my hope.
Yeah.
But I think from what we've got so far, I think it really has.
I absolutely. I mean, if I'm gonna represent people watching it as a fan of the legacy of Game of Thrones as well, stepping into this whole new world, but a world that I'm kind of familiar with, it definitely does. It's just the locations, the costumes, the hair. I can only imagine as an actor, once you walk on set, how much of all of that helps your performance.
It makes there is no performance without that.
Yeah,
we're just like a bunch of really regular looking
really
people
normal,
extremely
underwhelming.
Yeah, underwhelming. Really average.
Like subpar.
Yeah, subpar. Actually, subpar. No, they're amazing. And the whole costume department. Reese talks about it all the time. Like the detail, the level of detail on the costumes and stuff. Like things you don't see. Like there'll be like some people have things inside their.
So do I.
Yeah. In like the lining of like their clothes, which like should serve, might never ever be seen by anyone, but just like the fact that it's there is amazing. Yeah.
And I can't imagine for you to step in some of these like unbelievable costumes, like dream costumes. Yeah. What was it like for you to take that on and have the epic white blonde hair that is impossible to get?
It was just that. It was just like I like struggled to process it and still kind of struggled to process it, and I had so many fittings with Jani, our incredible costume designer, and it was such a privilege.
Whose wedding we went to?
Whose wedding? We went to her wedding.
Oh, wonderful.
With Reese. I was a bridesmaid at her wedding.
Millie was the ring bearer. Millie was the ring bearer
of Jani's wedding, and I met Jani who did our costumes.
It was actually crazy. It's actually thinking about that whole experience. You sat next to Alfonso Cuarón.
It was really weird. But the costumes bringing it back.
Yeah, sorry.
Insane.
Yeah.
Very hot, but insane.
Oh, I can imagine.
Wait, everything's lit by fire because
Oh, it was so
lights
hot.
don't work.
Oh.
So everything's lit by fire.
And they really like to commit to the bit.
They
So
do,
you're
and
like, this is
I
real.
would just be sweating, and it would just be like two girls, and I'd be like this, just literally fanning my armpits.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to prepare someone to watch the show, you're warning them about this first episode. What would you say? How would you describe it?
Warning them off it.
Well, no, not warning. Just like, hey, be prepared because it's kind of intense.
Yeah, but I suppose that people that have watched the show, I mean, it's quite violent and gruesome, but isn't it? It's sort of meant to be that stuff, isn't it?
It's true. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
It's no more intense than I think. It's probably surprisingly more emotional than I think people would anticipate. I think that's it. I think that's the people who've seen it. What's thrown them is that they've so quickly had such an emotional reaction to it in the first episode.
We have to talk about the dragons. I mean, there's, there's power, there's family, there's politics, but the dragons, how important and integral are they to this story?
Well,
Eye candy.
they're a real pull of my eye. They're massive. I mean, it is House of the Dragon.
Literally. Otherwise, it would just be house.
Otherwise, it would just be House.
Would just be House.
House of the. So no, they're massive. I mean, also like obviously having seen the first episode, but like you have, that was the first time we'd seen what they look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you can't you've no idea what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Use the imagination. Did they like exceed your expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Huge.
I mean, I think it's so funny because I was talking with my producer about this, but they're your ride or die, and they are so much
Literally,
why we
you
love
ride them or you die.
Exactly.
Sounds like the name of a James Bond film.
That was the greatest soundbite ever, and we're done. Scene. But they are so much a part of why we love the Targaryens. Like why when you were watching Game of Thrones, you fell in love with this super dysfunctional
Family.
wild family. So you fell in love and you felt like they were a part of the family. They were the heart of the family in so many ways. Are we going to be seeing a lot more of them?
Yeah, there's a whole house of them.
There's a house.
There's so many.
Oh my gosh, I just want this entire bit.
I mean, Viserys' relationship with dragons is a little bit different. He's a student. He understands where they're from and how they were made, and he understands their potential to destroy the world. And he treats them like they're a nuclear bomb in some way, and there's something that you should use responsibly. And he also understands that the Targaryens are seen as the most powerful family because of the firepower.
Right.
And that's why they're kind of feared and respected. He understands that without them, it would be a different kind of perspective on them, if you like.
Well, it's the power. It's the power in
Yeah,
this
it's the
family,
power.
right? It's
But
like the heart and the power.
because Viserys isn't a very power-hungry man, he kind of uses them responsibly, if at all.
I'm just blown away. There's so much more. I have so many more questions. We're getting the wrap, but I was also, that was so surprising. I mean, we're wrapped, but I was so surprising to see that side, to see a king that's not power hungry, which is something you don't always see.
Yeah.
It's not. It's almost like the opposite of what we've been told. So it's interesting to see that. Congratulations!
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
Thank you for being so kind about the show.
Yeah. Lastly, Game of Thrones fandom is so intense.
Yeah.
Like many other fandoms we've seen before, but there's something special about the Game of Thrones fandom. Are you ready to step into that fandom?
Absolutely not.
100% not.
No.
It's intense.
It's really intense.
It's really intense.
It was intense at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
But they were so nice. I actually, I've not had any, apart from that one guy. One guy at Comic-Con pointed at me and he went, that guy's playing Criston Cole. I hate that guy. Other than that
like, you haven't even given me a chance yet.
Other than that
I know.
one, I mean, I don't know if he was, I hope he was saying he hates Criston Cole.
No.
He was
Like,
saying,
I hate
I
you.
hate that guy.
He hates you
That guy right
specifically.
there.
Okay.
They were so amazing. Some of them had camped out overnight and stuff to be there.
It was
and
insane.
So
it's insane.
It's completely surreal.
Surreal.
I think that we're really underwhelming.
I think it is because you're still you.
Yeah.
You still wake up and you're like, I'm still me. I've always been me, and then suddenly people have that reaction to you, and you're like, but why?
Yeah.
That's what's weird.
George R. R. Martin.
This is gonna.
George R. R. Martin.
I know you're taking this one step at a time, but this is as we know and we've seen, a whole new opening of a career journey. So I'm just so excited to see where the show goes, to watch you both. I'm already obsessed. They only really let us watch it once, so I'm like, but I
only
need
let
to
us
see it
watch it
again.
once?
No, I've only seen it
I
one
haven't
time.
even read all the scripts.
No.
I
I forgot.
Like, I don't even know where I am right now. What?
Yeah.
could not tell you.
Okay.
Could not tell you.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You should be so stoked. Fans are
you.
going to love it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching eTalk. Make sure you hit subscribe for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news. And while you're here, why not watch another video? I know you want to.